Welcome to AI Dispatch, your channel for the latest AI videos on YouTube. If you don't want to miss these updates, please like, subscribe, and share. Today's video comes from Latent Space, featuring Ashu Garg and Jaya Gupta from Foundation Capital. Their central thesis challenges a fundamental assumption in enterprise software. Databases store truth. They argue otherwise. What we call systems of record are merely tombstones of decisions, capturing results while erasing the reasoning that produced them. The actual intelligence of organizations, they claim, lives in Slack threads and email chains. The unstructured chaos IT departments discard as noise. Their framework repositions this chaos as the new competitive moat and suggests incumbents holding clean data face structural obsolescence in the AI era. Here's their analysis. Ask any CIO or enterprise architect where their company's truth resides, and the answer arrives immediately. The system of record. Salesforce holds sales data. Jira tracks engineering work. Oracle managed finance. This mental model has governed enterprise IT for decades. Ashu Garg and Jaya Gupta from Foundation Capital dismantle this framework entirely. They argue that systems of record function as systems of results. A database records that a deal closed at $50,000 or that a bug was resolved in version 2.1. It captures outcomes with precision. However, it possesses zero knowledge of how or why those outcomes occurred. The database preserves the tombstone, not the life that preceded it. This distinction leads to their first structural claim. Data accumulation no longer constitutes a defensible advantage. The new competitive barrier is what they term the context graph, residing in the messy, unstructured materials traditional IT departments classify as expendable. Garg locates organizational intelligence outside clean database schemas. It exists in what he calls dark data, Slack threads, email chains, Zoom transcripts, pull request comments. These artifacts contain the actual reasoning behind decisions. This inverts decades of clean data orthodoxy. The industry has spent billions sanitizing information, forcing it into structured schemas, eliminating ambiguity. Garg and Gupta position this noise as signal. Their framework rests on decision traces. When humans solve problems, they generate trails of exceptions, overrides, negotiations. Databases strip this context away, recording only final states. AI agents require context to operate autonomously. Value therefore migrates from clean end states to the messy exhaust generated during work processes. This reasoning produces a counterintuitive prediction about market winners. Conventional logic suggests incumbents like Salesforce, Microsoft, or SAP will dominate AI deployment because they control existing data infrastructure. They own the systems of record. Garg and Gupta present the opposite conclusion. Owning systems of record creates structural disadvantage. Incumbents occupy the end of workflows. They reside in the storage path, not the orchestration path. The speakers introduce systems of agents as the new competitive layer. These tools do not record work, they execute it. Because agents participate in actual task completion, writing code, sending emails, triaging tickets, they alone can capture decision traces as they form. This framework implies a massive enterprise with petabytes of historical records, maybe context poor, while a startup embedded in workflow orchestration coordinating actions between humans and machines constructs a superior context graph. Incumbents store receipts, startups prepare the meal. This logic extends to a technical heresy regarding unified knowledge systems. The data industry has pursued a single source of truth for years, unified data meshes or central knowledge graphs mapping entire enterprises. Garg dismisses this ambition outright, comparing attempts to build universal context graphs to solving world hunger. He treats the goal as not merely difficult, but conceptually flawed. Rather than monolithic intelligence, they predict fragmentation. We will not deploy one AI understanding everything about a company. We will operate hundreds of vertical context graphs. One graph decodes nuances of medical billing processes. Another interprets architectural patterns in specific code bases. This contradicts the centralization trend dominating the past decade. Their reasoning context operates vertically. The logic behind a sales discount shares no semantic relationship with the reasoning behind a software patch. Forcing them into unified schemas dilutes the resolution agents require for useful operation. The final philosophical shift addresses digitizing intent. Throughout computing history, we've accepted a boundary. Computers execute instructions, the how, but intent, the why, remains locked inside biological brains. Gupta challenges this limit. He argues that large language models enable reconstruction of a partial why from scattered digital work debris. By analyzing decision traces moments when humans override AI suggestions or provide specific code review feedback, systems can infer reasoning behind actions. This transforms human reasoning into a queryable data type that can be stored, retrieved, and replicated. This exceeds what critics dismiss as metadata 3. Metadata describes file attributes. Context graphs encode institutional memory. The implication, organizational culture, the aggregate of decision-making patterns decouples from employees and persists in graph structures. When an employee departs, their decision logic remains embedded in the system. Foundation Capital's investment thesis follows a consistent axis. Software value migrates from storage to reasoning. The previous era prized systems of record, warehouses of facts. The emerging era prizes context graphs, libraries of logic. Their bet assumes companies capturing the messy, unstructured why behind work will displace giants storing only the what. The unresolved question: if intent and reasoning become graphable and automatable, what role remains for humans embedded in the loop? If you're interested in the video featured in this episode, click the link below to watch the original.